So, here we are again tonight. Let me stop this video because I don't want to get a copyright strike. And I wouldn't do that to the person that I'm watching, you know, kind of hijack their material for it. I've been doing a pretty good job of being consistent, coming on at night, and maybe this is how it's meant to be. I don't know. We will see what happens. I plan on doing a get ready with me in the morning. I have a stack of product to try. It all came out of my pocket. If you got a problem with how much money I've spent on makeup, hit that little X, be on your way. My husband is aware. He bought a truck. No, seriously. We do things, we keep a rein on things and a rein on our spending. We were able to not just purchase a motorcycle that, bless God, we got for free when it all washed out. We sold our old motorcycle for $2,000. We paid roughly $2,500 for the new bike, and we made a transaction in between that made up the difference. So the new bike was a wash. We sold the old truck for enough to cover what somebody chose to help us with. We had cash. We were a couple thousand shy, and my cousin opted to help us with it. So what we sold the old truck for, it fixed that. And like I told you, we went cemetery walking the other day. We're going to keep doing that. That's kind of mine and his thing. I want to raise my grandson to know who he is. Not just beyond just mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa. Because we've got a neat history. My grandfather was German. My let me back up. My great-grandfather was Irish. My dad's parents, I am seriously believing that they came out from underneath the Cabbage Patch leaf, because that's all I can find. My grandmother was the daughter of a Baptist minister, and without all of them, I wouldn't be here. So that's why I walk cemeteries, and that's why I do genealogy, and that's why I try to figure out who I am, because I want to share that down through the years with my family, with my boy, with people that matter to me, with people that want to hear it. Now, my ears are itchy, so forgive me for digging at them. There's nothing wrong with me except for allergies. It's Kentucky, it's allergy season. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not going to come up with a bunch of hoo-ah to tell you. It's allergy season. You may see me dot my nose because it's running. Coming out of a really, really, really bad migraine, this too shall pass. I believe that the same God that touched me and healed my pain can very easily touch and heal these migraines. The tendonitis was different this time. It is something that we will talk with the doctor about. But beyond that, I'm not worried. My EKG came back fine. All of my tests for my noggin and my veins, there was a little bit of blockage in one aorta. It is okay. I'm still a huge fan. Let me find one that isn't smooshied up. I'm still a huge fan of the Hydration Multiplier Liquid IV. There is another brand that I'm going to try, and yes, I keep it right next to my bed. If that's not something you do, I'm okay with that. I keep it next to my bed because sometimes I wake up and I'm already in migraine, and reaching my cup makes life a lot easier. It does help reduce the severity of my migraine. It's not a cure-all. Never said it was. It does help ease the symptoms because it eases the dehydration. IV hydration, if you're watching this video and you want to sponsor me, we can do that. Otherwise, I'm going to keep using your product. Unless, the basis, I think the basis is the other brand. It has less sugar. If it works for me, then we may be having a whole other conversation. It's all good. It's all okay. I stocked up on the IV hydration when it was on sale at Costco. That's how that is. I have several, like I said, we'll probably do a get ready with me in the morning. I have church tomorrow night, 6 weeks of revival. We are all exhausted. We are all blessed tremendously. And I may do a get ready with me, if time permits. And the reason why I say that is because my cuckoo dog, when I leave the room, my cuckoo dog decides to start meddling in stuff that he doesn't need to be meddling in. He ate my Halo Kiwi vitamins. Not all of them, just a couple of them. He's fine. Don't worry. We checked. We did the poison control thing. We did all that we needed to do. He's fine. He may have beautiful skin and beautiful hair. It's all good. So, I've been a bit rambly the last few days. Thanks for hanging out. I've been trying to keep an eye on the time because I don't want to, when it's a rambly video, I don't want to keep you here in ramble land any longer than I have to. But there are things on my mind, things that I'm trying to remember that I want to do in the future. Along with cemetery walking, along with, and see, here's where the cemetery walking comes into play. Just in my own family, just in my own aunts and uncles, I found so many connections and stories, and I have a tangle. Ouch, that hurts. I found so many inaccuracies that it took me a bit to fix. I also found a Jewish cemetery in my own hometown that I did not know existed. We went to it and were not able to gain access, and that's okay. That's okay. I will get with the cemetery association and see what I need to do to go in there, because there may be a link back to my family. I suggest that you make an account on Findagrave. I suggest that you hop on Ancestry. And I suggest that you make sure that the information that you know about your loved ones who have gone on is accurate. And I will tell you why. I have an uncle, sorry about the fingers, I'm not using a tripod. I have an uncle whose name was Howard. He had a junior. His grandson recently died suddenly in March, and it ripped my heart out. But when I started looking, they had, and they're all in the same cemetery. It's kind of like an L-shaped. But they had all of the siblings, except for him, connected to my biological grandmother and grandfather, except for him. And it kind of took a bit of doing to make that correction. Now, me and the lady that had his memorial did hit it off on the wrong foot. Part of that was my fault. A lot of that was my fault. I had just lost Davy, and my emotions were raw, and I will own up to you that I probably could have handled the situation much better than I did. However, it's handled. The original person, see, here's what's happening on Findagrave, and why we need to have new life come into it. The older people that walked these cemeteries years ago and did the best that they could have started to pass on. So that has left a lot of graves unattended. And people who mean well are snagging these memorials up in order to keep them active. And with Findagrave's rules, it's hard to get your family member. I got lucky. None of my aunts and uncles were to have been given to me. I got lucky because the person that was managing them, or persons, were like, you have a history with them. You know stories about them. It would be best for you to have them and manage them, because you can post information that we don't know. And that holds true for your family members. So I encourage you to at least make a profile and look and see what's out there. In doing this, I actually found a Jewish cemetery that's in my hometown that I had no idea was there, and found a man named Jack Zutu, who at the same time Al Capone was doing his thing. Al Capone was the number one on the FBI's most wanted list. Jack Zutu was number 8. That's history. You can't change it. It's history. It's not it's not favorable history, but all of these people who went before us, it's history. They went before us for a reason, good, bad, or otherwise. They built our history. So I encourage you to take a look around. you might, shoot, worst case scenario, you might find that you're kin to me. Wouldn't that be funny? But whenever I started this because I wanted it to be about my sparkle, and my sparkle has changed over the years. It went from makeup to MLM businesses that we won't talk much about, because although some of my friends still participate in those MLM businesses, I do not agree with them. I will not cut them down, put them down, or anything like that. I just don't agree with them. I spent a whole lot of money to make a whole lot of awards that really weren't mine, just to keep my quota up. Understand what I'm saying? There are dedicated channels to MLMs and anti-MLMs and all that good stuff. Now, I'll buy Tupperware all day long. Come summertime, I'll buy Skin So Soft all year long, because it works. Some of this other stuff, not so much. I know I say a lot. Bear with me. I'm working on it. So, back to Findagrave. I strongly recommend. I recommend spitting in the little tube and finding your DNA and finding your family. My husband and I did it a couple of years ago. It's been the neatest journey ever was. I work on it sometimes, and then sometimes I pull away from it because it's a lot to digest. It's not always good. I can tell you that from firsthand experience. As you know, I grew up in a coal camp, and some of the things that happened in the camp were not good. But a lot of the things that happened in the camp were fantastic. We still have relatives, to include my family, in the camp that keep the camp going, even though there's no coal mine. So I encourage you to find who you are. Some of it's not going to be pleasant. Some of it will be. But find who you are. Just because you find out the links and what this person may have done that was unpleasant or awful, it doesn't mean that you follow in their footsteps. It actually means that you position yourself to break that generational curse. And I'm thankful that my dad chose to do that, and that I chose to do it further. There you go. I do have, and when I tell you that I have a pile, literal pile. Stuff went on sale towards the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. I have oodles of stuff that we need to try. I gave away a basket full of it to my wonderful niece. Just because it needed to happen. Here in a couple of days, I have a couple of more pallets that I want to purchase to complete collections. And they're collections that I like. And to collect makeup for me is a hobby. And I really don't care if you like it or not, because it's not something that I hold on to white knuckle and won't give up. And I know that you're probably wondering why you keep hearing me say, I don't care whether you like it or not. It's a new term that I've learned to get accustomed to, because this is my life. This is my channel. This is my growth, or lack thereof. And I don't have to have your approval or your guidance or anything else to move this hobby of a channel forward. If I stay at the subscribers that I've got right now, I'm happy. If they go down, I'm happy. If you're just watching me to see if drama comes out of my mouth, sorry, you're on the wrong channel, because it won't. This is where I do my thing. This is where I do my get ready with me's. This is where I talk to you from my heart, and that's not going to change. This is where we try out product, and I talk to you from my heart. This is where we may share a devotional. This is where we may share a scripture card. This is where we do what I feel led to do. So if that doesn't suit you, click the little X, go on about your way. I will have zero hard feelings towards you. I am not everybody's cup of tea. I am a work in progress, as are you. And if we don't jive right now, maybe down the line we will. Maybe we won't. I don't want you to sit here and waste your time hate watching me, because time is precious, and once it's spent, you can't get it back. So if I can't give you something to learn, or food for thought, or something along those lines, by all means, click the X and go somewhere else where you can get those things. I'm not a hate watcher. I don't watch any channel because I hate that person. I've never understood it. I got more things to do with my time. I don't even watch a show or a soap opera. If I don't like it, it makes no sense to me. I mean, it just makes no sense to me to watch a show, or to watch a YouTuber, or to sit up in the wee hours of the night and watch people argue with each other when there's never a resolution. And even if there is a resolution, it doesn't stick. So why? Me personally, I'm just going to love all of you and keep on swimming. Keep doing what I do, and keep doing what I do best. I'm schooling a little child, and I'm teaching him to be kind. And I don't care if people don't like it. My first priority with him is to teach him to be kind and to be a servant leader. I don't care what anybody else thinks or if they agree with me. Those are my convictions. So, right now, we are waiting for a dear friend of mine who fell not long ago and did a number on both of his ankles. We are waiting on God to move and heal, because he said he would. He's going to have to undergo some surgery at some point, probably. But he knows just like the man who was thrown on the bones of Elisha. He knows that God's going to live, that he's going to live because God said live. Whether it's in a wheelchair or whatever, God said live. And that's what we're going to do. So, y'all remember that I love you, love you, love you. I'm here. If you can't get me on here, check out any of my or my other social medias. The name is the same, except my Facebook, and that's private for my family. But reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk to you because God says live. I love you. Remember that I am the mayor's daughter. I very proudly wear that title because it was a nickname lovingly given to my father that I had no idea would stick the way that it did. No votes were cast. Even the mayor of Pineville, Scott Maiden, don't believe me, call him and ask him, agreed. This man's the mayor. Always will be. Always has been. And I fight for my hometown. I fight to preserve the history. I fight to preserve the graves because it matters to me and it means something to me. And we have hit 26 minutes, almost 27, and I'm rambling along. So y'all have a good night. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be in the bathroom with the get ready with me. Now, that being said, we may have to stop that several times because my cookoo dog keeps getting into stuff and Ian kind of loses his marbles. It's okay. He's a senior dog. He's 13, maybe 14 years old. Don't know what happened to his brain power, but it is what it is. We handle it. We move on. The get ready that with me that we do will be preparation for me to sing in the choir. It will not be as intense, for lack of a better way of putting it, as I do my Sunday morning routine, because we only have one service to sing in, not two. So, have a good one. I'm the mayor's daughter. I love you all so very much, and I look forward to being back and sharing my life with you, and sharing my love with you, and sharing all my hobbies, and even every so often a rant or a fuss or what have you. I'm a human being, and I will be a human being until I'm no longer, until the dust goes back to dust. So, enjoy. I'm the mayor's daughter from my home, not the mayor's, from my home, from the remnant urban homestead, which is in pitiful shape at this point. We love you, and we wish you a very happy evening. See you, bye.